Cat Tales 27. My secret was bound to come out sooner or later, so I might as well confess here and now, I'm a dog person who fell in love with a cat. Yes, it's true. And if that weren't bad enough, the cat is no ordinary feline. It is quite possibly the ugliest cat in the world. How did this happen? Even the most ardent dog lover will occasionally admit to a pang of warmth for a fluffy little kitty or a flirtation with a perfect purebred, such as a Persian. They do resemble Pekingese pups, but I had to fall for a cat so unattractive that even cat lovers have been known to recoil in horror. I fell in love with a Rex. This is no sexy Rexy, but rather a naked, scrawny Cornish Rex with features resembling an alien from outer space. No exaggeration or hyperbole necessary, this may be one of the most unattractive felines in the history of catdom. So why do I find him so irresistible? Love is blind. Belle married the beast, and I adopted the Rex. While Belle's beast became a hunk, my cat Prince is still hiding his inner charm under a carcass of nearly naked flab. If I had fallen under the spell of a tuxedo tabby or a slinky Siamese, it might have been understandable, but a fixation on a furless feline freak is hard to explain. I knew nothing about the Cornish Rex breed when I began the odyssey that led to the cat connection of my life. I was simply looking for a new companion. My little Chihuahua was reaching senior status and wanted nothing more than to sleep in the sun all day. That was fine with me, but my children understandably wanted a pet they could play with. Being a dog person, I first thought to get a puppy. But then I was worried a puppy might upset the Chihuahua. I also wasn't looking forward to months of new housebreaking discipline. The natural cleanliness and independence of felines convinced me that a cat would be the best choice. Just as I had determined that puppy energy would be too stressful for my senior dog, likewise, I vetoed the idea of a kitten. With all the wonderful adult cats in the world waiting to be adopted, I knew we would have no trouble finding the right cat, not too young, not too old, to fit in perfectly with our family. We went around to all the local shelters and carefully read the posted information cards and greeted the friendly paws reaching through the cages. One of the shelters had a huge cat room where the residents roamed free. There were nearly 100 feline friends living together in perfect harmony, except for the occasional hiss here and there. It was the perfect place to find the perfect cat, and the perfect place to find out that we were allergic to cats. Because we were free to move among them, play with them, and hold them, the allergy symptoms were suddenly running as wild as the kittens. My youngest daughter and I discovered we had a problem that day. My oldest daughter was immune and didn't want to leave without a new furry friend. We went home empty-handed. After that, we probably should have given up the idea of ever getting a cat, but visions of kitty plums danced in our heads. I can't recall exactly who it was that first mentioned a Cornish Rex along with the misleading phrase, hypoallergenic, but I was off and running to look it up on the internet. As I would later find out too late, not only are Cornish Rexes not hypoallergenic, they tend to aggravate allergies because of exposed dander. I soon discovered Cornish Rex rescue sites with adult cats available for adoption. I narrowed my search to locations within driving distance of my home. Only one cat was available nearby, and even he was out of state, but the drive was less than 2 hours away, so it would be worth the effort. It was a gray and white male about 3 years old. He sounded perfect. I quickly contacted the Humane Society that had posted the listing. I was told he was still available, but if I was interested I should hurry, because a waiting list was bound to form. I later learned that Cornish Rex cats sold by breeders can cost as much as $1,000. I made plans to drive out to meet Rex the next morning at the crack of dawn. He was being fostered in a private home by one of the shelter workers who kindly took in overflow cats when the shelter ran out of space. During the long drive, the kids were quiet as mice, which seemed appropriate, given their eagerness to meet the mysterious cat they hoped would become their new playmate. Upon entering the Rex's foster house, I never would have guessed that nearly 20 cats were being sheltered there, because everything looked and smelled so clean and fresh. Felines were curled up here and there, quietly and inconspicuously relaxing while they awaited relocation. Only one cat was locked up behind a closed door, and the meowing was loud and long. If this had been a mystery story, the clues and foreshadowing were being laid out like pieces of a puzzle that I was too distracted to see. I was told the lockdown cat was the very Cornish rex I had come to see. He was isolated for his own protection, because the other cats were picking on him. That certainly tugged at my heartstrings, but I couldn't help noticing that all the other cats seemed so mellow. All thoughts left my head the moment the door was opened and Mr. Rex was revealed. Skinny, scrawny, long, lanky, and bald. The strangest cat I had ever laid eyes on. A sphinx must have sneaked into the cattery somewhere along the line, because this boy was naked down to the pink skin covering most of his body. No matter. It only added to his unique charm. He went home with us that day. It was kismet. Or so I thought. Within less than 24 hours, all the Cornish Rex secrets were revealed. Although there was no fur to fly, our allergies took off in high gear. Dander wipes and endless hand washing would become part of a daily routine. And I soon discovered why Cornish Rex are referred to as monkey cats. They seem to literally fly from room to room, wreaking mischief and havoc wherever they go. No shelf is too high, no surface too narrow. Things go crashing on a daily basis. As for the natural cleanliness of cats, the Cornish Rex are too busy having fun flinging kitty litter far and wide. Everything is a toy to a Rex, so adjustments must be made. I now have a small plastic swimming pool in the basement to help contain the litter box mayhem. Independence? That's for ordinary cats. No lap dog ever clung to his master with the tenacity of the Cornish beast. Velcro or leech would make appropriate names for a Rex. The good news, Rex cats are playful. Very playful. The bad news, our cat's favorite game is crisscrossing full speed underfoot as we attempt to walk downstairs. People with bad vision, weak ankles, trick knees, balance problems, hip injuries, or heart conditions should think twice about getting a Rex. In fact, anyone with common sense should think twice. It's been 7 years since we adopted our Mr. Monty Rex. Skinny and scrawny is now chubby and flabby but still as naked as the day we brought him home. Thinking back on that fateful day, I can now say with affectionate humor that I understand why his first family didn't exactly send out a dragnet to find him after he ran away. And I now know why the cats at the shelter were picking on him. He was undoubtedly driving them crazy. But we love him.